I compiled every one-hit wonder from 2000 to 2009. My definition of a one-hit wonder is an artist who has only scored one song in the top 40 of Billboard's Hot 100 chart. They also have to be a main artist on the song, and features don't count. The amount of songs I found was staggering. So first, I'm gonna go through and put them all into specific categories, and then I'll give you my top and bottom 10 one-hit wonders. And just a heads up, none of these categories are exclusive. Some of the songs could work in multiple. This is just how I decided to group them together. Let's meet our first category now, all the way in from Bumberdil, California. Reality singing shows were a huge deal in the 2000s, and many of these songs come from folks who tried to spin their show success into something long-lasting. Based on the video you're watching, do you think they did? Nearly all of these songs come from American Idol contestants, with the exception of Eden's Crush. They came from a 2000 show called Pop Stars, which was the inspiration for American Idol. So an artist could get a hit from a reality show, but what other ways could someone land on the charts? How about consumerism? The songs in this category all got big primarily through their use in a commercial. Dirty Vegas soundtracking the Mercedes Eclipse, Feist soundtracking the iPod Nano. Songs like this really make me want to engage with all of my favorite 2000s products: baggy clothes, Webkins, and the Craig CD player. Here's an interesting trend I saw in the 2000s. Kid songs. And I don't mean like kids bop songs. These were original songs that were sung by a child, or at least someone under the age of 18. In some cases, the singer's age is not relevant to the song. I didn't know the Tattoo Girls were both under 18 when they first released All the Things She Said. In other cases though, it's very relevant that the singer is a kid, like Aaron Carter singing about a house party and Billy Gilman singing about violence. Lil Romeo has a grown woman wanting to be his girlfriend on the chorus hook of My Baby. Problematic age gap much? Hashtag singer on Lil Romeo's My Baby is over party? Some of these feel like novelty songs. Though what's interesting about the 2000s is how we didn't really get that many novelty one-hit wonders. There was no What Does the Fox Say of the 2000s, or at least it didn't chart. But there were still songs that charted that had bits. Like they weren't full-on parodies or novelties. Afroman's Because I Got High is a good time, but it's doing a bit. There's a jokey quality to it. No one is gonna be out here doing their first dance at their wedding soundtracked to Because I Got High. And the world is a worse place for it. This next category is pretty small. It's covers. Notably, 2 of these happen to be really damn good. Like on certain days, I'd say they're better than the originals. Apparently Michael Jackson really liked how Alien Ant Farm handled Smooth Criminal. Don Henley, not so much when it came to the Ataris and Boys of Summer. What a surprise, Don Henley not liking something. And yeah, I know Seasons of Love being in this covers category is kind of a stretch, but it really didn't fit anywhere else. Cast of Rent. How many one-hit wonders do you think there were in the 2000s? 500. Good guess. It's less than that, though. Hit me with another guess. 25,000. Okay, that is way more than your first guess. Again, it's less than 500. I'll give you one more guess, okay? 600. I give up. This next category might be my favorite one. It's called Kid Rock Karaoke. Why is it called that? Here's the story. In 2008, Kid Rock released All Summer Long. This was a hit on its own through radio airplay only. I say radio airplay only because Kid Rock didn't have his music on iTunes in 2008. So if you wanted to get All Summer Long on iTunes, how would you get it? And this leads me to these 2 karaoke covers of All Summer Long by the Hitmasters and the Rock Heroes. These are both basic one-to-one covers of the originals, but because they were on iTunes, enough folks bought them to have both chart on the Hot 100. And in fact, the Hitmasters cover charted higher than Kid Rock's original song. Suffice it to say, Kid Rock's music was on iTunes within a few years. All right, now we've got 2 heavenly songs, in that they're both called Heaven. Which heaven would you prefer to end up in, DJ Sammy's or Los Lonely Boys? Discuss. Researching this list made me realize how many artists we think of as one-hit wonders nowadays actually had more than one hit. So let's take a second to mention some close calls, some artists who were almost one-hit wonders. Hinders. Plain White T's scored a #1 hit with Hey There Delilah, but don't forget about their 2 other top 40 hits. Hinders' big hit was Lips of an Angel, but they also had Better Than Me, which peaked at 31. Jet was made famous with Are You Gonna Be My Girl, but Look What You've Done peaked at 37. Cobra Starship scored a double, 2 hit songs, both peaking at #7. Kings of Leon's big top 10 hit was Use Somebody, but there was also Radioactive peaking at 37, which is funny because I feel like Sex on Fire is the other Kings of Leon song most people know, but that only reached 56. Vanessa Carlton drove a piano in the video for 1,000 Miles, but for her, that was just an ordinary day. 5 for Fighting, more like 3 top 40 hits for Billboard. Every Time We Touch, I Get This Feeling that Cascada had more than 1 top 40 hit. Stained blew up with a top 5 hit, but I bet it's been a while since you thought about their other hit song, So Far Away. Panic at the Disco would have chimed in with just I Write Sins Not Tragedies, but High Hopes in the 2010s closed the goddamn door on them being one-hit wonders. Jay Sean soundtracked every high school prom with 1 song, but his second big hit was Down, 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 Down at #10. Owl City got big with Fireflies in 2009, but you would not believe your eyes if he also scored a top 10 hit with Carly Rae Jepsen in the 2010s. And in case any of you are asking about my beautiful spring cherub son, he peaked at #50. Let's run through some 2000s genres now. First up, country. Giddy up, little doggy. For the 2010s, I called this category Basic Ass Country. This time, I'm calling it Ballad Ass Country, because most every song here is a ballad. Ballads were huge back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Seems like that's a fact we always forget. But you know what we'll never forget? This next category is called 9/11. It's for songs that, bless their hearts, got big because of 9/11. Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA is the ultimate example. This song originally came out in 1984, whoa, and gets popular anytime a Republican becomes the US president. But nothing has beat its rise following 9/11 and going into the Iraq War. Outside of music, you can also check out Lee's officially sanctioned Bible. Most of these songs are country, by which I mean 2 of them and the cover of 1 of them, but let me also shout out the cover of What's Going On by All-Star Tribute. This is a supergroup featuring basically every popular artist in 2001. The song was initially made to help stop the spread of AIDS in Africa, but some proceeds also went to the Red Cross's 9/11 Fund too. What if you want your melancholy served with less references to terrorist attacks? Then you've got some Grey's Anatomy core. This is for songs that could soundtrack a wistful or longing final scene in your favorite 2000s network TV drama. Some of these are ballads, some have more of a beat behind them. Many of them remind me of The Fray, who had multiple top 40 hits, but these are like the fake Fray. The Fray. But what if you want your pop songs with less guitars and more dance moves? Then you've got Coming Up on TRL. This category is for the teens, the bops, the teeny boppers, the boppy teeners. We're talking first crushes, late nights, big feelings, and soundtracking Nickelodeon movies. In the case of Hoku, she had her song Another Dumb Blonde in the 2000 Nickelodeon movie Snow Day. Was there a blonde girl character in that movie? She also had a song on the Legally Blonde soundtrack. Why was it not the song about a blonde? But you know what these songs are missing? Hand claps that cut abruptly. There we go. A couple hit songs in the 2000s took their cues from Caribbean pop music. Dancehall, reggae, soca, very much influenced by the success of folks like Sean Paul and Shaggy. And while we're taking cues from outside the US, we should also highlight European dance music, Eurodance, as some might call it. These are songs that you might not remember by name, but you would definitely remember by their synths. You go up to one at a party, they introduce themselves as Alice DJ's Better Off Alone. You're like, huh? They go... And you're like, oh, of course I've met you. Let's slow it down now, light some candles, start playing some Tenerence Love up in here. R&B was huge on pop radio in the early and mid 2000s. I'm actually taken aback by how many R&B one-hit wonders we've got here. What strikes me is how mature the subject matter in these songs can be, which isn't surprising because they're R&B. Of course, R&B deals with mature subject matter, but because these were charting pop songs. The R&B that gets popular on the charts these days is like Chris Brown and the album of Dubious Reason to Exist. You can find one of these songs by how sparse the percussion is. If beats 2 and 4 have got hand claps, finger snaps, or rim knocks, you're in the right place. Whoever's on those drums is doing a great job with those rim knocks, by the way. I guess you could say they're doing a great rim job. Now we've got to ramp things up. Let's get into some rock. Butt rock is called butt rock because it's all from an ass. Just kidding, I like a number of these songs a good deal. You got some post-grunge, you got some aggressive guitars, you got tough guys singing about their feelings and how rough and coarse they are. Have these songs aged well? Discuss. But they are all certainly of their time. They come with a stank. Perhaps the stank of Huba. Butts were not the only place you could go to get your fill of 2000s rock, though. There was also the Mall. This category is for songs that evoke the feeling of feeling like the Crossgates Mall in Albany, New York. A little more high energy than Grey's Anatomy core, but still often about girls and love, and if she does it like this, then you move it like that. These are the perfect soundtrack for walking into Zoomies with your fresh emo haircut and schoolbook covered in S's. One more rock category, and I admit this one's kind of loose in its definition. It's called rap rock and its consequences. I say it's loose because sometimes the rap and rock are obvious, like on Crazy Town's Butterfly or Pod's Youth of a Nation. Sometimes the rock is more present, but it's from a rap-influenced genre like nu metal, such as Incubus's Drive, and sometimes the rap is the primary thing, like Modest Yahoo doing reggae, or Flowbots with something more orchestral. If I were you, I'd focus on the consequences part of the category name. But I'm not, so do whatever you want. Just don't be mean to me. Now brace yourself, because we gotta start talking about rap and the various beefs that were being flung across the US in the 2000s. In one part, we've got Southern rap. This is where you can find your crunk, your New Orleans party rap, and any other hip-hop conceived below the Mason-Dixon line. It's like Andre 3000 said,
"Don't give me no gun, man. You know what I'm gonna do."
In another part of the US, we've got East Coast rap. This is for the songs that were also in the clubs, but they had that New York energy. They all began with someone saying, "Hey, I'm walking here," and they all ended with a shout out to Sbarro's. It was really distracting. I don't know why they did that. And we can't forget about the other rap genre causing beef, ringtone rap. From the far-off land of Ringtonia. Remember ringtones? Remember paying $2 to $4 for a small clip of a song that would only play when your phone rang? Remember when that was a major thing in music? Great times? These songs all have sparse beats and hooks that sounded great out of a BlackBerry Curve. Now that we're through the genre-specific categories, let's cover a few more oddballs. One-hit wonder artist big feature is what it sounds like. The main artist is a one-hit wonder, and they're aided by a much bigger star. If you were an artist in the 2000s looking to score a big hit, you could collab with established musicians who would never become controversial, like P. Diddy and R. Kelly. We've also got the Oasis category for artists who may be one-hit wonders in the US, but are much bigger in other countries. Fun and cool reminder that Oasis are technically one-hit wonders in the US. It's a reminder that America is not the center of the universe when it comes to music and culture. Sure, we might have Kid Rock, but that's no reason to forget about S Club 7. Does Kid Rock even have clubs for himself, let alone 7 of them?
Hi, I'm Annalisa, and you're watching the Disney Channel. I'm really excited.
Let's talk the biggest Disney Channel IP of the 2000s, High School Musical. While Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens both have multiple top 40 hits to their names, Lucas Grabeel and Ashley Tisdale only have one, their duet, What I've Been Looking For. Corbin Bleu also has only one top 40 hit, though it's his own song, not one from High School Musical. These next 3 songs might be full-on technicalities, and you might even object to me putting them on the list, but I think they're really funny, so I'm gonna keep them on. You know who else among the High School Musical crowd is a one-hit wonder? The cast of High School Musical. The artist, the entity known as the cast of High School Musical, has only one hit with We're All in This Together. But that's not even the technicality here, because you know who else is a Disney Channel one-hit wonder? the completely different artist known as the cast of High School Musical 2. Hey, listen, they are technically different artists. This is also why the cast of Camp Rock is a one-hit wonder, despite including two artists who are very much not one-hit wonders. God, I love technicalities. And the final category is called... No. This is for artists who are, according to my definition, one-hit wonders, but like, no they're not. I know someone probably wanted to kill me for including gorillas in the thumbnail, so here's proof that I deserve to live. Feel Good Inc. is their only top 40 hit. Some folks are here through loopholes. Chad Kroeger might be a one-hit wonder, but if you were gonna bet money on this being his only claim to fame, you might want to take your nickel back. So anyway, if you guys like that joke, make sure to follow me on Foursquare. Same with Gnarls Barkley, a group featuring two gents with multiple hits. But other folks in this category blew my mind. Blink-182 with All the Small Things, Weezer with Beverly Hills, Amy Winehouse with Rehab, all folks who either still release music today or are fondly remembered for their music. I think it speaks to how an artist can be a literal one-hit wonder or a cultural one-hit wonder. Sometimes an artist can score one top 40 hit, but then continue to be relevant in other ways that keep them as a core part of our culture. Whereas another artist can score multiple top 40 hits, but in the end, only really be remembered for one. It's an interesting dichotomy and a sign that charts don't always tell the full story. Now with all of these songs sorted, let's do some countdowns. First, I'll give you my top 10. All you gotta do is say yes. I just discovered this song while I was researching for this video, and I really enjoyed it. Highly recommended if you like Lauryn Hill or Aaron Allen Kane. And Flowetry apparently just reunited. I love it when the universe works out for me specifically. Everybody's going to the party. Probably the most overtly political one-hit wonder of the decade, and it's not even close. Beyond System of a Down's condemning of the US government and Iraq war, there are also a lot of fun vocal ticks. My favorite is Serj Tankian going, like I said before, Michael Jackson approved this cover and loved it. Aside from the genre switch, it's not super different from the original, but I think that's part of what makes it great. Smooth Criminal was great already, but a new coat of sonic paint shows off how good the underlying songwriting is. Number 1 Victory Royale, yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. This was Estelle's only top 40 hit. That quietly blew my mind until I realized I couldn't name any other Estelle songs. Though I am aware of her participation in something called Steven Universe. That's not a knock against the show, it just came out after my time watching cartoons. This one doesn't feel right. A legendary powerhouse like Amy, only having one top 40 hit and only 3 Hot 100 hits at all, that's not right. Why can't we harness the power of the algorithm to serve everyone on Earth a clip of Back in Black or Valerie? I'd even take the Glee version of Rehab at this point. A pinnacle of early 2000s pop rock production and songwriting. It's like the ultimate synthesis of Shania Twain, The Carpenters, and even 80s Fleetwood Mac. Don't you look at me like that. Don't be making any rude comments right now. This is bigger than me. This is for Eiffel, this is for Zerodel, and this is for Jacka G. I have a soft spot for Eiffel 65. I once made an entire Christmas special centered on Eiffel 65. This isn't a game to me, and it shouldn't be one to you either. I love Blue dearly. Top 2's big hit just had a moment in pop culture earlier this year as it was featured in the massive show Heated Rivalry. Well deserved, it's a total banger. I low-genuinely, perhaps believe this song is perfect. A beautiful display of how just a simple genre change can make a song feel totally new. F*** you, Don Henley. But if it's not number 1, then what is? Because putting this masterpiece at number 2 feels like a joke. It's got me like, ha 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 ha. Feel good. Is there another song from this list that's as cool as this one? The bass line, the acoustic guitar, the Damon Albarn, the De La Soul, so many random components coming together to form something so perfect. Shout out to the music video too, it's classic. Look at the way 2D spins around when De La Soul comes in. That one shot freaked me out so much as a kid.
You just turned your head around like 360 degrees like, oh, that was cool. That scared the shit out of me. Don't do that again.
And now, here's my bottom 10.
If I lay here.
I feel bad about this one. There's a quartet of slow burn, adult contemporary songs sung by men, released within 2 years in the 2000s, and this is the one I like the least. Howie Day has the doot doot doos, Daniel Powter has the forward momentum in the production, despite the sad lyrics, James Blunt has the funny lyrics about getting baked and seeing a girl on the subway, but Snow Patrol doesn't have anything that endears this song to me. It's just so slow. This one requires a bit of nuance. So Lumidee's Never Leave You is one of the dancehall songs I mentioned earlier. The beat is very much in line with the Jamaican Diwali rhythm that was used often in these songs. However, Lumidee's vocal performance isn't really inspired by dancehall culture in the same way that Sean Paul's voice is. It's more typical of traditional pop and R&B at the time. All of that is to say, I don't like how Lumidee sounds on the song. She sounds out of tune for most of it, but my dislike is not because I am uncultured or racist. I know the sparseness is kind of the point of ringtone rap, but with this song, I just don't think the hook is strong enough to make up for it. A few years back, I had a job that involved listening to Sirius XM a lot. Every time I tuned into the 2000s throwback station, there was an 80% chance I would hear this song. Oh God, I am editing this video, and I picked this footage of Paula at random. Look who's putting the event on. Sirius XM, I cannot escape you. It's not awful, it's just been ruined for me with overplay. Sorry, Paula. Sorry, Day. The 2000s were a terrible time for women in pop culture. Paris Hilton got so much crap that decade for just existing, and I think a lot of that vitriol carried over to the reception for Stars Are Blind. I don't think the song warrants that level of hate. But like, it doesn't mean it's good. There's gotta be a middle ground. Paris did not deserve all of that hatred in the 2000s, and Stars Are Blind is not a good song. I know many Eurodance hooks are annoying. To complain about a Eurodance song having an annoying hook is like criticizing water for being wet. But oh, I don't like this song's hook. The la la la's are one thing, but the verses are also the same hook. It's like the song's constantly trying to shove the hook down my throat. No thank you. I've never been big on songs that interpolate children's song melodies or nursery rhymes, so this song that pulls the melody from Do Your Ears Hang Low never stood a chance.
Back off, I'll take you on.
The biggest butt of all the rocks. Out of all the songs in the butt rock category, this is the one that takes me back to the early 2000s the most. Derogatory. I can imagine a young Mike yelling, "You'll never understand me, Mom," before slamming the door and playing Melee alone in his room for like the 200th time.
What I said, it don't mean now.
You get it? He said the f word. He said it like 100 times. Isn't it funny? This is a great example of horseshoe theory because I kind of wanted to put this on the top 10. There is something so delirious about it that I can't bring myself to hate it. But I still know what it is. Guys, this is so bad. How do you put this song out? How do various personnel sign off on this? You shot a music video for this. With a set. There was lumber involved. The fact that no one thought better is kind of beautiful, but again, it's not good. All in total, that was 232 one-hit wonders from the 2000s. Let me know what you think of these songs in the comments, and if you enjoy looking back at a decade's one-hit wonders, check out this video next.